Good morning everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. This is Poonam Avasthi, your SST teacher. Today we are going to study chapter 1 of Social and Political Life, the Constitution and the Need for Laws. Okay beta, please refer page number 117 to 119 for this chapter. At the end of the video you would be getting a home task, so watch the video carefully. Do the home task neatly in the notebook, and in case of any doubt or query, feel free to reach out to me in the upcoming online class. So let's begin the chapter. Welcome all of you in social science class. Today we are going to study chapter 1 of Social and Political Life, the Constitution and the Need for Laws. Please refer page number 117 to 119 for this chapter. So, my dear students, you may have seen rules and regulations everywhere. So now in this chapter we are going to understand what are rules and laws and why do we have rules and laws. So, a rule is an established principle, a standard or a guide for action. A rule is something that you follow in order to function in a proper and safe way. Rules are essential for efficient and proper governance of a country. And laws are the legal variation of rules. A rule or set of rules enforceable by the courts or legislature are called laws. And students, these rules and principles are laid down in the Constitution. Now, understand what is Constitution? Students, a constitution is an important document laying down the fundamental principles of a country. The country is governed by these principles. Students, please note down here, laws are also formulated according to the principles laid down in the Constitution. So, we can say that the Constitution is regarded as the fundamental law of a country. Students, our Constitution was drafted by the Constituent Assembly, and do you know the Constituent Assembly of India took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to draft the Constitution, and the Indian Constitution came into effect on 26 January 1950. Students, the Indian Constitution is a legal document which contains basic laws that defines the powers and functions of the government. It also includes rights and duties of the citizens, and students, every government has to function as per the laws laid down in the Constitution. Now students, explore with me importance of our Constitution. Our Constitution contains valuable information regarding the structure, organs, duties and responsibilities of the government. Our Constitution regulates the relationship between the various organs as well as between the citizens and the government. Our Constitution has a system of checks and balances, and this helps us to prevent the misuse of power vested in the government. As we all know that India has a diverse population, so it is important to protect the rights of minorities. So our Constitution guarantees certain rights to the minorities to protect them against the oppression by the majority. And students, for all of us, our Constitution also guarantees certain fundamental rights to the citizens in order to protect them against any injustice by the government. Need for laws. So students, no civilized society can lead a peaceful life unless people of the society are abide by the rules and regulations. Laws are meant for the welfare and security of the people. They serve as a means of bringing about social change and establishing an egalitarian society. A society in which all people enjoy equal rights and opportunities. But students, if you look around, you will notice that there are many people who suffer due to many social customs such as caste system, dowry, female feticide, alcoholism, etc. So students, in a traditionally unequal society like India, which is plagued by social evils, the need for laws becomes even more important. The social and religious customs which hampers the development of society and country must be removed at the earliest, otherwise it will destroy the social structure and hinder development. Now students, to curb the practice of giving and taking dowry, the government passed the Dowry Prohibition Act in 1961. This act prohibited giving and taking of dowry. According to this act, anyone caught giving or taking dowry is liable for both imprisonment and fine. The practice of female feticide. The act of killing an unborn female child is female feticide. Students, one of the effects of the dowry system is the practice of female feticide. Even today, daughters are considered as a financial burden by many people. So, female feticide is on the rise. This practice has affected India's sex ratio also. Students, please note what is sex ratio? Number of females per thousand males. To curb the practice of female feticide, the government has passed the PNDT Act in 1994. It was brought into effect from 1st January 1996. The PNDT Act prohibits the determination and disclosure of the sex of the fetus. And any violation of the PNDT Act can result in imprisonment and fine. Now students think, is passing an act enough to curb these kind of practices? So what other steps can be taken? Please drop your suggestions for this question. I will wait for your answers. Please drop your suggestions in the comment section. Now, laws and dissent. Laws are formulated for the welfare of the people. And students, when people express their disagreement against the law, so the term dissent means refusal to abide by law. Students, you all can imagine that a situation may arise where a law might not be in the larger interest of the people. What should the people do then? Should they obey the law or express their disagreement? So when they express their disagreement against the law, it is called dissent. If you look at our history, you will find many instances where people defied laws. Two of the major dissent in India were the Salt Satyagraha of 1930 and anti-liquor movement. The Salt Satyagraha, which took place on 12th March 1930, led by Mahatma Gandhi. The British imposed salt tax, according to which the manufacture and sale of salt became a British monopoly. No individual was allowed to make salt. Then Gandhiji launched Salt Satyagraha against this tax. And students, post-independence, India witnessed an anti-liquor movement led by the women in Andhra Pradesh. They organized a large-scale protest against the increase in the number of liquor shops. And students, they demanded ban on liquor shops. And after much protest, the ban was finally imposed. So we have seen laws have proved instrumental in bringing about social reforms. But students, laws alone cannot curb social evils. Social awareness is also needed to change the mindset of the people. Students now understand rule of law, which supports the equality of all citizens before the law. The rule of law implies that no one is above the law. This principle not only regulates the power of the government but also stresses that everyone is equal before the law. By this, we are done with today's chapter. Please have a look to the home task. Do it in the notebook, and in case of any further query, feel free to connect in online sessions. And my dear students, don't forget to like and share the video. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning.